client. And then, we buy the home that the client picks out with you as the realtor. And then we just lease that property to them until they're qualified for their mortgage loan and ready to buy that home from us, successfully move into that home ownership position at that point in time. So, we tell clients, you want to make our company that shortest term solution for you, because obviously the goal is home ownership and you want to obtain that as quickly as possible. But for realtor partners, we're really just designed to be another tool in your realtor tool belt, right? Being able to help serve those clients that, might be forced into rentership because the mortgage laws are so stringent right now. Whether that's a self-employed client, it's probably the biggest group of people that we see, self-employed individuals who make good income, but for tax purposes show zero. So when they want to go buy that $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 home, $700,000 house, they just don't have the income to prove it. We see a lot of clients that are going through a divorce or just got divorced. And so credit got wrecked during the divorce proceedings. Someone wasn't paying something. Maybe they're still on their ex's mortgage. A lot of people that have like 1099 income and people that are coming off the heels of bankruptcy is a big uptick we've seen recently. Post-COVID, people had successful small businesses. They got wiped out during COVID. They're back working with a W-2 job, but they've got a 2 to 5 year time period being locked out of being able to buy a home. So really any situational issue, any technicality, if someone can't qualify, there's a good chance we can help them out. So there's a few financial highlights that I want to kind of walk through with you guys. And at any point in time, if you have questions, fire at me. I want to keep this conversational, obviously. But we do have a 7% down payment requirement. Okay. And the 7% down payment is, we've seen that be a massive success and kind of a key tool for clients. We have about an 84% success rate of people successfully buying the home from us and moving into the home ownership. It's big. Wow. It's huge.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's huge. And it's something that really fires our team up and really kind of due to the structure, I think, of how we present ourselves and, how we actually fit into the home buying equation for people. But we attribute a lot of that to the 7% for a one major reason is it really sets the clients up for success. And what I mean by that is, most of our clients, when they buy the home from us, are getting an FHA or conventional loan, 3.5% to 5% down plus closing costs of the loan officer. So, by them having the 7% on hand with us, they should have plenty of money ready to rock and roll to seamlessly go from leasing to buying that home from our company. We designed that. A few of our competitors have really low down payment requirements, and their home ownership conversion percentage is quite low because a lot of people will work super hard, spend money to get credit up or, pay taxes or whatever they need to do to get qualified. Then they show up like, hey, I did what I needed to do, but then it's like, I don't have the down payment at that point in time. So by setting that client up for success with that 7% down payment, we really feel like it does a big service to them to, fulfill the mission of what Berry Rock is, and that's to help facilitate home ownership. So the 7% they give us, like I said, is their future down payment upon mortgage readiness. Another key financial factor is while leasing the home from us, they do receive what we call a client monthly payment credit. The monthly payment credit is super, super easy to calculate. It's simply based upon the purchase price of the house. It's the first 3 digits of what we buy the home for. So if the client picks out a $200,000 home, they get $200 a month with each payment. If they pick out a $500,000 house, they get $500 a month with each payment. So with each lease payment, they're accruing those credits, and the accrued credit balance plus the 7% is all what goes towards their down payment for their loan officer to utilize. However, that loan officer needs to, stack funds to fit into that loan product, right? And then the last piece is pretty substantial as well. When the client buys the home from our company, it's set at a predetermined fixed price. It's either 2%, 4%, or 6% above what we initially bought the home for. And the factor on that, guys, is how long do they lease from our company, okay? So breaking that down for you, if the client buys the home between day 1 and 6 months, we sell it to them for 2% above what we initially bought the home for, okay? So you're taking notes, Jessica, so I'll let you write.
I'm writing it. It's all good. I'm writing it all down.
If they buy the home from us between 6 months and 12 months, we sell it to them for 4% above what we initially bought the home for. And then anytime after 1 year, it's 6%, and that's the ceiling with Berry Rock. So it's 2, 4, 6%. And let's throw some numbers on that. $100,000 home, super easy math, right? The sales price of a client would be $102,000, $104,000, or maximum $106,000. So if that client's done some sweat equity to the house and improved value, or home prices have gone up, that if that home's now worth $130,000, our company's still selling it to them for $106,000. So all that upside equity is theirs to keep. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, absolutely. Any questions for me about those kind of three highlights?
What about closing costs?
Yeah, for sure. So there's 2 options when it comes to closing costs. We can do one of 2 things. We actually have an offer guide online. Can I do a screen share on here? Do you know, Jessica?
I think so. Yeah, it's that little arrow thing at the bottom next to the hand.
Okay. Let me present now. Okay, perfect. I'm just going to do, let's go here. Can you guys see my screen now by chance?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So this is our company's website. A few good things on here. We have the apply button up here, obviously for a client to apply. We've got a Realtor Quick Connect here, which is a good tool for you guys. If you have a client you just want to shoot over to us just real quickly when you're out in the field talking to them, and they don't have the application completed yet, you can just do that and submit it, and it tags you as the agent. And then we have a little video here on the homepage that says exactly what 120 seconds to kind of explain to clients about Berry Rock. And we also have our monthly lease payment calculator here on the homepage as well that tells clients exactly what the monthly lease payment and 7% down payment requirement will be. Okay. But back to your question on the closing costs. So on our realtors tab here on the website, we have an offer guide that tells you exactly how to write the offer up the way that we need it. So we don't have like our own contracts or forms or platform that you guys need to use. Our company, we want you guys to work inside of your own platforms, work inside of what you guys do well. So if it's, AuthentiSign, Dotloop, DocuSign, whatever e-signature platform you guys use, just fill it out. We've got line by line instructions on how to do it. And then just send it over to our offer desk, which is contracts@berryrockhomes.com, and we'll get it signed. So, but to your closing cost question, we have a set amount of seller paid closing costs. We typically recommend requesting from the seller so the client doesn't have to worry about coming up with those. So it's just based upon the purchase price of the home. It tells you exactly how much to request on the closing cost. Now, if a client wants to pay that directly to us on top of the 7%, they certainly can. But we have quite a bit of success and a really good hit rate of saying a client wants a $200,000 home. Maybe we offer 206,000. Oh, sorry. Maybe we offer 205,800 and ask the seller to pay the 5,800 closing cost. You guys have the latitude and freedom to do that within our system. Okay.
Got it. And it's subject to appraisal. How does your appraisal process work?
Yeah, for sure. So super simple. So we have guidance lines of credit that we draw down on. So, second to just a straight up cash offer, it's as good as it's going to get for a seller to consider. There's no financing contingencies along with our offer. Obviously, we get an appraisal and the home does need to appraise because we're not going to overpay for it out of good faith for our client. We don't want to put them in upside down a property that they have to buy from us in the future, right? But we use the once we go under contract, we send it to whichever guidance line we're drawing down on, and they order it third party. Typically comes back within 15 days. We just ask on the appraisal writer box, so we just extend it to 3 weeks. That way, we're not out of contract if it hasn't come back by then.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So try to make it super simple for you guys with this offer guide. And like I said, I figured you'd probably enjoy working inside of your own system.
Cool.
Yep.
Okie dokie.
Absolutely. So back to our screen share here. We have a little cover letter as well that just kind of talks about what we're doing. It just says, hey, we're excited to submit an offer, pre-approved lines of credit, no financing contingencies outside the appraisal, no loan specific inspection requirements. So unlike an FHA deal that says, hey, paint the windowsills and caulk here, we're not going to have any of that stuff. So we're buying it, pretty much as is, unless we want to have any inspection resolutions, obviously.
So with the condition of the property? What's required in terms of like livability? Can it be a fixer upper?
Yeah, for sure. So to a degree, right? So go back here. Can you see me again? Am I back?
Yep, you're back.
I hate not seeing myself when I'm talking, but or not myself, but seeing the people I'm talking to. So yeah, so we can to a degree. So our rules are it needs to be habitable and insurable when we buy the property. Okay.
Okay.
So we do have a lot of flip clients that use our company sometimes. They prefer to get into a flip with 7% down. We don't provide any money to them for repairs or the flip itself. They need to do that themselves. But then our payoff is set. We just take our 246%. We back out the 7% they gave us, and we back out their monthly payment credits, and that's our net payoff. So anything we sell the home for above that, if it's like a flip client, that's totally fine. If it's someone that's looking for, a sweat equity project for themselves, that's totally fine as well. Obviously, we're not going to provide any money to them, but the home just has to be habitable and insurable when we buy it. And what that looks like is typically cosmetic issues. We can't buy things that are like missing floors or bathrooms not completed, broken windows, and things like that. But if it's just like outdated cosmetic stuff, that's absolutely no problem for our company.
Cool.
Yeah. We typically see, inclusive of the 7% the clients delivered to us in monthly payment credits, we typically see clients walk into an equity piece of about 19% when they buy the home from us. Because a lot of times, they do a little bit of their own touches to properties and, make it a little bit better than what we bought it for initially. And all of that upside equity is theirs to keep.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
What's your lease like? Can they have pets? Can they paint?
Yeah, absolutely. The client can do any upgrades to the property they want to if they're leasing from our company. So if they want, it has to be permitted and up to code. Obviously, it has to be done appropriately. But any changes they want to make to the home, they're welcome to do so. We look at it as we are just simply that stopgap solution for them on that path to them being the homeowner. So inversely, though, the client is responsible for a daily routine repairs and maintenance. We carry insurance on the property in case it burns or blows away. Obviously, we've got a commercial line with Lloyd's of London that insures all of our properties. So we're well insured. But client in the exchange for them being able to make the home, the house they truly want it to be for their family, they are responsible for repairs and maintenance on the house.
Okay, so they do repairs and maintenance.
Correct. Yeah. So we kind of describe that as like, hey, it's kind of training wheels for a mortgage, right? I mean, once you own the home and your hot water heater goes out, you can't call the bank and ask them to fix it.
Got it. Okay, so same thing. If there's hail damage and the roof is damaged, it's their issue, not yours.
If it's like totaled, obviously, our insurance will cover that. So.
Okay. So like acts of God, earthquakes, tornadoes.
Yep, for sure. So, yep, if it, burns or blows away is what I say, right? So I don't think we have we don't have an insurance a earthquake policy, with the insurance. I don't believe.
Okay.
I think that's like a specialty coverage type policy you'd have to have, but just your basic, something really, really bad happens, fire, tornado, hail damage, something crazy, then obviously we're covered on that.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I like it. And what about, okay, now I see this on your thing, special agreements. Buyer and seller agree that appraisal delivery according to the appraisal rider shall extend to 3 weeks, and seller to obtain prior to closing all relative occupancy and rental permits required by buyer to rent and occupy the property per the municipality. That's actually already in the contract.
Okay.
So it is totally redundant. But
that's okay. Let's put it in there. Some people say it's not. Some people try to argue that. We've had that argument.
You can't argue it. It's literally a whole paragraph in the contract.
Yeah, we just want to make it explicit on our side, that way everyone there's no questions about it. Just a little, extra thing that we include in there that way, from our attorneys, just like, hey, write it out, make it specific, make sure everyone's aware, and kind of our own language on top of the, SLAR contract.
Got it.
Yeah.
And hang on 1 second. Just look at one thing. And I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything. Buyer to purchase title. Okay, cool. And do you guys get into home warranty?
Case by case basis, something we can certainly ask for if we want to. Berry Rock, we don't pay for that. It's not a standard deal that we pay for. But if that's something that you guys love as realtors, I hear it's a savior for people, and I hear people say it's like the biggest ripoff of all time. So it just kind of varies, transaction to transaction, agent to agent. We found, but yeah, something we can absolutely request, something we can definitely ask for if that's something we want to do.
And just like so, the SLAR contract changed this month. There's a new version of the contract.
Okay.
So like when you look at the contract, it now says 723 up at the top.
Okay. So
they added additional lines. I just checked yours to make sure it was like current. And these lines are now, this is the only one that needs updating. So your offer.
I actually really appreciate that. So which line did you say is the one that needs updating?
It's now 351 to 357 instead of 349 to 356.
351. So perfect. Well,
351 to 357.
I appreciate that because I don't know when they update contracts. So
I know. Yeah, they literally just did. So
okay. Well, that's a great catch. Thank you very much. So
of course,
yeah. And so you guys, I think Jessica, you were telling me you guys have done some stuff with Divvy in the past. Is that right? Tell me about that. How was that experience for you guys? I'd love to be educated a little bit on it.
Yeah. I got one more question for you, and then
for sure.
And then I love to share. So how do you calculate the rent, or what's the rent payment?
Great question. So if you get, well, I can do a screen share, I guess. Give me 1 second. So
yeah,
let me go back to it. So it's really just a standard landlord lease rate is what we call it. We lease a home for about 1% of what we buy it for. Okay. It's simply a factor of our company's hard cost.
So it's not a factor of the current rental rates; it's a factor of the purchase price.
Exactly right. It's just based upon our company's hard cost of funds. So, when we buy the home, we draw down that guidance line. Obviously, we have to pay principal and interest on that. We pay taxes and we pay insurance on the house as well. So, above and beyond what our company's hard costs are, we make anywhere from about $175 to $250 a month. We're super transparent about it. We think it's really important that our clients and realtor partners know how to get compensated. So, I can show this to you right here. You just click on St. Louis. Excuse me. Type in a $200,000 home. There's 2 calculate buttons. The option consideration is how the 7% is structured. So 7% would be $14,000, and that monthly lease payment would be $2,145 per month. Is what the lease payment would be. Like I said, it's just based upon what our hard costs are from the organizational perspective. But it really is just about 1.1% of the purchase price of the home. Most landlords, that's a general rule of thumb that you're looking for, is you're trying to lease your home for about 1% of what you buy it for. Our pricing is exactly the same. The big difference is we're going out and paying retail for a house, right? I mean, most landlords and investors go out and they find under market deals with a nice ARV. So, their cost basis is $100,000, but once they put 20 grand into it, it's worth $200,000. So we're paying retail for it basically.
Cool. And hang on, I have a list of frequently asked questions about Divvy, so I'm just making sure I know all the answers to these.
Yep, absolutely.
Does the property have to have a certain number of pictures or any information on the MLS in order for you guys to make a decision on it?
No, absolutely not. So, I mean, as long as you'll tell me and your team will tell me, hey, yeah, habitable, insurable, this is a good property, and run your comps. Okay. I mean, I want you guys to comp it out. While you're kind of, you are our agent in the transaction. Technically, we're your buyer. We want this to be kind of a quarterback deal with the client really kind of driving the boat, right? Like I said, our perspective is we're just that stopgap solution between them and home ownership. So, if they want to be aggressive on offer price, they're allowed to do so. If they want to lowball, they can do it. As long as the home is, just not a, piece of junk, right? We're good with it.
So you let the client, the tenant, pick the sale price?
Yeah, absolutely. So, if we go see a house listed, if it's listed for 200K or 300,000, they want to offer, 10, 15,000 over and comp support it, we'll sign off on it as long as it's within their budget.
Okay, cool. And it doesn't have to be as is, or you're fine with as is. What about condos and townhouses?
Yep, we can do condos, we can do townhouses. One thing about the as is deal is we're never going to waive our right to inspect. Okay.
Okay.
So we can write it as is, but we want to have the ability to cancel the contract if we don't like the inspection. So keep note of that if you would, please.
I did.
And then condos and townhomes are totally fine with us. That's not an issue. The one thing I tell people on condos and townhomes, well, actually two things. The most important one is, you guys as the realtor, please check the bylaws. Make sure we're allowed to lease that unit out.
Okay.
And that's a big deal. So that goes for HOAs too, obviously. And then the other factor on that is let's make sure we're aware of what that monthly association fee is. Those things can be quite steep sometimes. I mean, we've seen some that are like $600 a month, and then that has to be added to what our lease rate is.
So you added to your lease rate, the tenant doesn't pay it directly.
Correct. Yeah. Because, if they don't pay it, we're getting sued for it,
Right.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. All right. And how does your inspection process work?
Yeah, super simple. So what we do is once we go under contract on the property, our team will actually order the inspection. We work with the Merispec. They do all of the inspections for us across all of our markets. And we order the inspection, and then the inspector will contact you guys as the agent to go out and conduct the inspection. They kind of know exactly what we want on it. And then once again, it's kind of a team effort. Our team will look at it to make sure there's nothing crazy on there that we want to have fixed. If there is, we'll email that to you. More importantly, we want you guys as the realtor to comb through that inspection with the client, see if there's anything that they want to have fixed. Because obviously, since they are responsible for the routine repairs, maintenance, and upkeep, as well as any upgrades or improvements they want to make, our company at Barry Rock Lease want to make sure client is good with condition before we close on the property.
So is the client allowed to attend the inspection?
Yeah, if they want to, they can. That's really kind of I leave that up to the realtors, to be quite frank.
Do they get a copy of the inspection?
If they want it, they can have it. Yeah, we don't care.
Okay.
That's no big deal to us. Sometimes I find less is more with buyers sometimes, right? But some agents, like to do it differently than others.
Okay. And then, are you okay with pass-fail inspections, or do you always want the third? Normally, an inspection process, you can accept as is, you can walk away, or you can renegotiate for repairs or credits. Do you ever just go to pass-fail?
If I understand what you're asking correctly, we will always try to renegotiate. So there's not like a certain condition that has to be, and then we're going to walk on it. A lot of the times, we see agents that'll do, hey, we want $5,000 in lieu of repairs. And then, we'll get the $5,000 and we'll mail the check to the client afterward to conduct the repairs.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say I had a buyer that wants to write an offer. So I initiate with you guys. How long does it take you to actually sign it?
Same day, always.
Same day.
So yeah, we've got multiple people that monitor that email on the offer guide in our organization. And, we pretty much have everything memorized. I sign a lot of them. Nick signs a lot. And then David in our office signs a lot as well. So we're kind of the three that have signing authority, basically, with that email address. And so one of us will always be available to get that offer signed. We sign, most of them on the weekends usually.
Okay, cool. And use title partners.
Yep, correct.
And cool. And Cameron, okay, your name goes on it. Got it.
You sign as the manager, correct.
Got it. Okay, cool. I can't think of any other questions.
Cool. And I guess one thing
one other thing, the reason so the way I found you guys was somebody made an offer on one of my listings from you all.
Oh, great.
So one of the things that was kind of a red flag for me was the fact that you checked not contingent and you also filled in the financing information, which those things are contradictory. You're either using this section of the contract or you're using that section. So I assumed that the agent made errors, because normally if you're checking the box that says not contingent on financing, then you're not telling finance terms.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm actually glad you brought that up because I think we're going to be making a change to the offer guide on that. I think TJ Derry was the realtor on that deal. And you know, because while we do, it's not contingent, right, upon financing for us. We do put a loan on the backside. And so we just do that. Obviously, we just did that out of just thinking that was probably the right way to do it. But I think you're correct. I think that probably needs to go away from there.
Yeah, line 65 and 66 on your offer guide need to be just deleted.
Yeah, I actually
and 68. Yeah, and 69.
Yeah, because we have a right to finance it, even though it's not contingent upon financing. So
exactly,
that's perfect, and I actually appreciate that. So I think our attorneys missed that on that front. So it's all right. Though.
Yeah, cool, awesome. Okay, cool. I think that's all my questions.
Yeah, for sure. So real quickly as well, I'll show you guys kind of just so you guys have both signed up, I believe, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Perfect. Yeah. So basically, you in the email sign up, you received a link. And if you need me to resend it, I can do that super easy. But it's actually your own unique link to our company application, and it pre-fills all of your agent information down here. So anytime you have a client that's interested in Berry Rock, use that link because it'll automatically tag you in our system. So when the client hits submit, it'll automatically send you their pre-qual results. So I'm just going to do a quick little mock application here with you guys.
Love it.
And then show you how instantaneous this deal is. So missing a digit there, I think. So put a realtor in here, desired home market, St. Louis. And then let's say I've got, $15,000 saved up for a down payment. And let's say that I make $6,000 a month. I'm self-employed, not married. And then I'm going to put your information in here, Jessica. VARGAS, correct?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And with Mid-River?
The brokerage is called Network Global.
Cool. That's
there's two T's in network. It's a play off of the owner of the office's name. His last name's Nedemeyer.
Love it.
Yeah.
And what is your email address?
Jessica@midrivershomes.com. Plural rivers, plural homes.
Got it. So this will all be pre-filled on your guys' links, okay?
Cool.
And obviously with your phone number, not mine. So once a client submits this, it runs through our backend algorithm and will automatically populate the budget for them, okay? So you'll receive an email telling you what the client's approved for. And then I will also receive an email. Let me change screens here and redo this. I'll kind of show what it says on the client side. So, oh wait, I didn't screen share, did I? 1 second. So if I go to my inbox, the client receives this email, here's your approval amount for $214,000.
Cool.
Congratulations. We're able to approve you for 214. If you're able to save more money, you could go up to 217. So basically my income gave me approval for 217,000, but my main constraint was the 7% I had for the down payment. So
got it.
Max out at 214. Okay. And then it just gives the clients a little bit of information. Hey, we're going to have a quick 5-minute client consultation. So basically what happens when the client gets the application filled out on our website, this is what we kind of call their pre-qual pre-approval. Okay. And so what we do is we reach out to the client. We have a client consultation within 24 hours of receiving the application. That's Monday through Friday, obviously, unless we've got someone hot, just text me, I'll call them personally. And then we explain to the client effectively what we just did. Hey, here's who Berry Rock Homes is. Here's what we do. Here's how we fit into the process for you guys. And then what we do at that point in time is we verify their income and we verify their down payment. And once we have those two verifications on file, we're green light for offers at that point in time. So, if you had a client that got the application filled out today, we had the client consultation with them. They uploaded their pay stubs. to the links. They uploaded their down payment verification to our link. We can sign an offer this evening if we wanted to.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah. So super simple. And then you should have received an email as well, just basically kind of telling you as the agent, hey, your client Cameron's approved for $214,300. Help them find a home. So my recommendation, and I don't think I need to tell you guys this, but my recommendation is, wait till we have that consultation and verify income and down payment until you start showing homes.
Okay.
Once you get this email, go ahead and get them set up on an MLS search is kind of my recommendation, right? Because all we have to do is verify at that time.
How do we know when it's verified?
We'll give you a call. We'll let you know once we're fully verified and ready to rock and roll.
So you'll call me and them at some point?
Yep,
Okay.
exactly right. When the client gets the verification completed online, we tell them, hey, consider yourself fully approved unless we reach out to you. And, a lot of times, clients too on the application will put they have 1,000 down when they really have 10,000, or, they'll put they've got, 2,500 when they really have 25,000. So that's why if the client comes back as denied, we pick up the phone and call every single client to verify that all of the information was input correctly. A lot of times we get approvals, even though a client, misput information.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So great. Well, yeah. What other questions do you have, guys? I
think that's pretty much it. Yeah. You guys kind of work around like the major struggles that we had with the Divvy program.
Good.
So last year, my team did 21 Divvy buyers.
That's awesome.
And then they changed their structure. So there's a lot of challenges with their program, like a whole bunch of them. So the current number one struggle is the fact that they want to buy at 10 to 20% off. So they're no longer our contender in our market.
For sure. Totally get it. Yeah. That's I've heard that about home partners from every market that they're in currently.
Oh, really? I've never worked with them.
Yeah, it's we're really geared towards different things. One thing I would share with you guys for sure, like we've ran the numbers both on Home Partners and Divvy, and we are actually a much more cost-effective solution than both of those guys. I'll talk specifically about Divvy because you guys have worked with them, not really Home Partners. But during the first year, Berry Rock is about $250 less per month during the first year. So like I think that the numbers that we ran was like on a $200,000 home, and like the total cost to the client with us is like $31,680. And then for Divvy, it's like $34,650. So we're about $250 per month cheaper than Divvy on the first year. I think it breaks even with our company after about year 3, really. So, it's a little bit of apples and oranges, though, is what we see.
They're not the same. Yeah. And the whole way that you calculate payments is completely different.
Yes.
So to say that you're like $250 better, it's going to vary because they calculate their payments based on local rental rates, not on the purchase price.
Yeah, it is. We're pretty dang close on everything, though. I will say.
I think you're better. I'm not saying that they're better.
I appreciate that. So I appreciate that. But so it really is. We like I said, the big thing that we see is like Home Partners and Divvy specifically. They're not necessarily the best option for serious home buyers, right? They're more geared towards a lot of people that are wanting to, get into the home and maybe just pick it out, but they don't have much of an intention to buy. And then, Divvy and Home Partners just take people's heads off on the backside of what they sell the home to. Whereas with Berry Rock, we like to say we are for that serious home buyer, like the person that is, is engaged a realtor and is serious about home ownership, as opposed to just having the utility of picking out where they want to live. And so we like that messaging a lot. I think our realtor partners do as well. But it is, Divvy, I think you can get into the house for like $2,000 down or something. It doesn't take much to get into the property, but also it's hard to actually become a homeowner, with that skin in the game as well. So
yeah, I asked them what their percentage was, and they said it's 5% convert.
Seriously? Last I checked, it was in the teens, so that means it's really a lot. So
they're selling. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I list when they sell their houses in the St. Louis area. I think I get most of their listings.
awesome. Well, congratulations. That's great for you. So, it's one of those deals though, where it's, it really is. I think, we do, while there are that 7% down payment, sometimes is a little bit of a nail biter for people. But gift funds are totally okay with us. Just keep that in mind. The seller wants to contribute to it as well. Like if you guys have builder contacts and stuff like that, those guys are trying to move product. Like, we'll allow them to do 3.5% of the 7% for the client, and plus the closing costs if they want to, which is big. I mean, that means a client can get to the home with like 3.5% down, and it's good because the builders right now are just trying to move product. I mean, they just want to get it off their books, So keep that in your back pocket if you guys work with any builders or anything. But yeah, we'll take 3.5% builder credit to go towards your 7%. Their loan officer might not be able to use that in the future due to mortgage laws, but we'll just knock that off the home price when they buy it from us if that's the case.
Cool.
Like I said, really, we don't have our website is an awesome tool. We don't have like a login or portal that you have to utilize. We think it's better that our realtor partners work in the system that they know, because you guys are pros at that. Everyone is different. Everyone operates a little bit differently. So we want you guys to, rule the world of being an agent, and like use the systems that work well for you, and just, plug in a little bit to what we need as far as what the offer guide looks like, and email it to us for signatures. But other than that, it's a pretty simple deal.
2 more questions. So, what about mobile homes on land?
Yeah, we can't do mobile modular manufactured. That's excluded from our lines.
Okay. And how far of a geographic boundary are we talking?
Yeah, for sure. Glad you asked. Do another screen share for me if you would, and pull up our website. I'll show you exactly where to check this out. All right. Go to scroll up and go to the program tab and click on our markets. And right there.
Okay.
So that kind of shows you what our buying range looks like. If you click on the expansion tool on the top right.
Cool.
If you click on like the little square on the top right, other one, sorry, other side. Oh, there you go. That's perfect. Yeah, so you can actually search inside of that with an address.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Try to make it easy for you guys. Really kind of encompasses, Jeff County, St. Charles County, North County, St. Louis City, St. Louis County, and then Troy out there on a little island. We're good out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yep. And the locals, we call it Jeffco, just so you know.
Okay.
Jeffco.
Jeffco. I'm learning.
You can sound like a local.
All right, I will. I'll sound like a local. So I like that. But good. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, guys.
Anything that we're supposed to not say in our marketing if we market this?
No, market the heck out of it. I mean, I guess one question, how did you get hooked up with Divvy? Just curious. And reason I ask is because we've really kind of always taken, it sounds stupid, you're gonna think I'm an idiot, but we've really kind of taken more of a relationship approach. But I was looking forward to this meeting to kind of get your take on Divvy, because in the past 30-40 days I've gotten so much negative feedback on home partners of people exactly what you said, Jessica. They literally aren't even participants in the market anymore because they're offering 10-20% under market. So internally we've been saying there really is actually kind of a big void to fill within the realtors that have been interacting with Divvy and home partners now. How did you get hooked up with them, and what type of marketing to agents did they do that we could potentially help replicate? I'm asking from a selfish perspective to help grow my business, but what all did they do that you guys thought was beneficial that Berry Rock might be able to help step in and help agents in the communities and marketplaces we're in?
So I signed up with them in 2019 when they first came to St. Louis. I think I saw some marketing. I think they market on YouTube, And I think I saw something there, and then I ended up, I think I was in like the first 5 agents that signed up in St. Louis.
Okay. Cool.
So I'm pretty sure it came from there. I'm trying to scroll back to my very first email from them, but I have like so many years. It's still loading to see what the very first one I got was. I'm 1,500 emails back.
No big deal, but
no big deal. Yeah. But I don't really remember, but I'm pretty sure it was on YouTube. Here we go. So I'm showing this.
That's interesting. Very interesting. So
I got it. I don't know. The first one, it's just about somebody that. Yep. I don't even know I can't even find the first email. So let me see.
Yeah, but go crazy with marketing. How do you typically market for? You can use our logo and anything you want to, and call yourself a Very Rock partner if you want. You can do it. We don't care.
Really?
So,
okay.
So you guys market us any way that you want to. How do you typically market for these clients with your guys' ops right now?
Basically, when so we do like a fair amount of like cold calling and internet lead generation on our team. And so then when we get people who have credit challenges in the conversation, we tell them, 600 credit score and above, we're going to refer you to our trusted lender. Or, if you feel like you're in a credit rebuild process, or if they identify some scenarios like what you talked about, then we just refer them right over to Divvy.
Cool. Well, yeah, you can refer anyone and everyone over to us. I will say with credit is not a huge factor for us as well. Just keep that in mind. I think that's an important distinguisher. We've really replaced credit with the skin in the game from the client, being that 7%. I'll give you a quick story. We had a gentleman that came to us with a 400 credit score going through a divorce, and, his ex wasn't paying anything. He makes bukus of money, and we bought him like a $575,000 home. The divorce lasted a while, and it was pre-COVID, but he leased from us for like 4 years. And, when we sold the home to him, it appraised for like $725 because he had done some upgrades to it and stuff. I mean, he made more money on the transaction than we made on the transaction, just from leasing from us for 4 years. So, I say that to say, really anybody that has 7% shouldn't be leasing. While our lease payment might be a little bit more than what the market lease rate is, because it's based upon, the acquisition price of the home. I mean, the upside potential is effectively unlimited for these people. I mean, past 6%. So, anyone that has 7%, I think we're hands down the best option in the marketplace for them. Alternatively, we had another gentleman that we bought a home for before we knew what we were doing. And, it was probably 7 years ago. And he bought a house in a place called Arcadia, Oklahoma, that's not far outside of Oklahoma City. And we paid like $70,000 for the house, it's a piece of junk. But 5 years later, maybe it was 6 years, I don't know. Some developer came. He had to move to Tulsa, and so he was marketing it for sale. And it was on like 5 acres or something. And some developer came and bought it from him for like $180,000. And so, after we sold the house and after closing, we cut him a check like $100,000. He turned like a $6,000 down payment with us into a $100,000 check in like 5 years. So
wow,
yeah, and
that is funny.
Yeah, and so that's what we typically do when a client has like a life event with Very Rock. Our default rate's about 1.5%, probably, like true non-payment. The delta is people that like get divorced while they're leasing from us or have a job relocation. And what we do at that point in time is we just take what we bought the home for. If they're in the 2, 4, 6% zone, we deduct the 7% and then deduct their credits, and that's our payoff. So we will list the home for sale. And anything that we sell the home for above our payoff, we cut them a check for afterwards. So, so they might get their 7% back. They might get, a lot less than their 7% back. They might get a lot more than the 7% back. It would just depend upon, condition of the home and what it'll go for on the open market on the backside.
Cool.
Yeah.
I found my first email from Divvy. But it doesn't say how I met them, unfortunately.
No big deal. But
Yeah.
Cool. I appreciate that because, like I said, I do want to get a little bit more in tune with a broader range of agents in the marketplace.
Yep. I don't know, but yeah, happy to introduce you to the rest of the people in my office, and maybe there's some other agents there that could be good partners for you.
Yeah, please do. I'd love that. We can do a Zoom meeting like this or a Google meeting, or next time I'm in St. Louis, I'd love to stop by the office and just do this in person as well. So whatever is best or easiest for you guys, if we can get on the calendar, it'd be awesome.
Sure. Yeah, happy to make sure you get on the calendar there.
Awesome. Very good. What else can I help with, guys? Anything?
I can't think of anything. Annie, you have anything?
No.
Okay, awesome. Well, if you think of anything, you guys have my cell phone, right?
Yeah. No, what is it?
Let me give it to you. It's the 405-436-4593. That is my cell. I enjoy working with realtors, so this is kind of the part of the business I like to do. So every realtor's got my cell, and I'll kind of be your main point of contact. Like I said, this is kind of what I like to do. So the rest of it does all the other stuff, and I like to do it.
And Cameron, I recorded this session. Am I allowed to share this with the agents on my team to train them up? Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, no doubt about it. So, and dish out my phone number for anybody. If you guys do have any post questions, or any of your other agents have questions that you share this with, tell them to call me. I'd be happy to answer the questions, get them taken care of. So don't hesitate to reach out for anything you guys need.
Cool. That's great. Thank you so much. And
Awesome.
what's your email, Cameron?
Yeah, it's my personal email is crock, CROCK, at Berry, BERRY, rock, ROCK, LP, as in Lima, Papa.com.
Got it. Cool. I'm excited.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate your time this afternoon. Like I said, if you need anything, holler at me, okay?
Cool. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Talk to you soon, guys. Bye.
All right. Thanks.
Love it. Manage recording. Stop recording.